Good evening, friends, and welcome to another art stream. Hello, Ed. Hi. I'm kind of a little bit discombobulated because I've been for the past like 2 weeks just lost in the One Piece sauce, and I'm trying to get back into doing everything now. I've been setting up all of my streaming stuff and been generally having quite a nice chill time, so I've been trying to have a little bit R&R. I have not touched this page since the last time you guys seen it, so I have to try and remember what I was actually up to. Where was I? I think I'd been doing the flats and the inks, and I was avoiding doing all the backgrounds. Hey John! Hello! I'll wait for you to... Hi! It's got that purple #1 thing going on again. Okay. Let's draw... It's coming up to the end of the month and I need to get art done. I can only rewatch the One Piece live action stream so many times. Stream? Netflix. Oh my god, I've got streaming on the brain. Yeah, I realised that I've made a bit of a mistake because in this panel here, she is looking back here and there's obviously light, and then she walks away from it and it's dark. So maybe I should make it so that the core has like automatic lighting that turns off, like one of those creepy library type things where you're walking down it and the lights go off to save energy. Well, I don't even know where the energy would come from in the core anyway. It's probably just fueled by the power of Arjun's anger or something. Does the core have clappers? I was trying to figure out what you meant for a second. I was like, what the hell's a clapper? It probably would do, actually, because I imagine that's something that Imagine would have in her room. Hey Komori! Hello! Yeah, I misread that as well. Does the core have slappers? Probably. Actually, a hell of a lot. So yeah, for the past, like, week or something, like I said, I've been very much back into my whole One Piece obsession. And I actually picked up the anime again yesterday, since I'd been putting that off again. Since it's one of those kind of shows that when you drop off, you forget what the hell was going on, because there's a lot of filler in there and you remember like the main points of where you're at, but when I went to find the episode that I was on yesterday, I had to get through like 3 episodes of stuff that was just repetitive filler stuff, so I have to say, it sounds kind of odd to say this, but I've kind of been enjoying the live action more than the actual main show right now, which is probably bad, but I don't know, it's just like super inspiring to me. I think it's because I look at a show like One Piece and I see like what's possible, the fact that you can make something that's so close to the source material and people will actually love it that much. It's just so cool to see like characters that you've always imagined what their costumes and stuff would be like in your head. And it's like, in my head, I'm always like, oh god, I would love to see Engelbaum like this one day. Like, big dreams, you know, like huge dreams, but you know, dreams are good. But it's sort of like one of those things where when you're drawing or you listen to music or whatever, in your head you're always trying to make like really naff AMVs to all of your OCs in your head and stuff, but when you see the Netflix show, you think, wow, this person here has been working so hard on this comic for so many years and they've got like the ultimate AMV now. They've got like an actual movie quality series that does it justice, you know? It's like so inspiring to me. I think I've mentioned it before, but there's like a couple of things in One Piece that did inspire bits of Engelbaum, like Medea's big white coat that she wears is very One Piece coded. All of the admirals, they all have like the big white coats and stuff. There's a couple of things in there, but that's the most specific thing. I think that was when I first started watching One Piece. It was because I really liked the character designs, and I just remember thinking, oh damn, those are really nice coats. Wouldn't it be great if one of my characters could have like a really cool big white overcoat? So that's how Medea ended up with her white overcoat. Cowboy Bebop, you know what, right? I actually kind of enjoyed it, and Digi hated it so much because he's like a huge Cowboy Bebop fan. But I can see what they were going for. They didn't do it super good, but it wasn't, I don't think, as bad as everyone was kind of making it out to be. That was like my bar for a live action One Piece. I thought, well, it can't be worse than that, and it wasn't. It was actually super surprising. Yeah, I'm kind of like really enjoying the whole VTuber thing, because the past week or so I've been, like I said, I've been setting up like equipment for the streaming and stuff, and all of it was like dependent on me being on camera. But I'm just really tired today, and it's fantastic because I can be streaming and I can just be sitting in my pajamas, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Nobody knows, well, you do know, but it's great. It's like slumming it in style. I can still do my art. God, Sailor Moon. I remember Sailor Moon. Actually, Sailor Moon was, I think, my first anime ever, and well, the first one that I like collected stuff of anyway, because that was a very American thing for me, because when I was living in America, it was the show that my friend was like super into, and I'd never seen a single episode. And meanwhile, for some weird reason, it was always like, back then in the online spaces, it was always crossed over a lot with Nights into Dreams, like fandom spaces. It was like Sailor Moon and Nights into Dreams. I guess it's the whole moon and sparkly stuff, I don't know, but I always was like, what the hell is Sailor Moon? And when I lived in America, it was like my chance to finally start watching it, because it wasn't airing on television in the UK. We didn't even have like Toonami back then at all. And I remember when I went back to Scotland and I was like, do you know, in America they've got actual, like, an actual channel that shows anime, what the hell? And then like a few years later it came to the UK as well, which was pretty cool. The very, very first anime that I ever seen was, I mean, for everyone in the UK at one point, it was Akira, because it came on Channel 4 in some sort of like festival that they done one time where they were showing off Japanese cartoons and stuff. And I didn't enjoy Akira. I always thought it was kind of overhyped. It was very like super serious, and I was more into like really fluorescent girly shit. And I mean, it's an amazing animation and stuff, but I couldn't ever really get into it. But I think that was like the first anime that I seen. And after that, it was Tenchi Muyo. I fucking love Tenchi Muyo. Tenchi probably did inspire me a hell of a lot with my artwork. And there was also Dominion Tank Police, Gunsmith Cats, Appleseed, Devilman, and Guyver. I was like really into Guyver at one point because my little brother was like, obsessed by it, and I ended up really liking it as well. It was like a pretty violent show, but that was when it was all very much the in the UK, the only anime that we got to see for a while was the actual stuff published through manga, the actual like label. whatever it was called. I think it was called Mango, not AMV. But yeah, that was my beginnings in watching anime. So yeah, I now have one of those pop filter fuzzy things on my microphone now. My microphone used to be on my desk, and I wasn't in the habit of like elbowing it all the time or anything, but I always kind of thought that it looked cool when people have microphones that are like hanging above their head, but my desk doesn't have any edges to it that I can actually like clamp a microphone arm down onto it, and I was so close to accidentally buying something and then not being able to use it at all. And I discovered that I could actually connect a microphone arm to my shelf with all my plants on it, so that I've got this shelf in front of me with all my books and figurines and stuff, and I don't know what's holding it together. I think it's probably just like hopes and dreams right now, but I've attached this big heavy metal arm to it with my microphone now, and I've got a pop filter on there as well now. I haven't actually tested the recording of my microphone, like speaking the volume levels or anything, since I put that on there. For all I know, nobody can hear me right now and I'm just talking to myself, but it looks pretty cool. And it's got like a shock mount attached to it, and I never really understood what a shock mount was. It's just this, you can get different types, but the one I've got looks like a dream catcher, which is kind of cool. And your microphone sort of screws into the middle of it, and it's suspended by lots of elastic strings, and it's in case you bump your microphone, it takes the impact of it and you don't ever get any vibrations from your desk or anything. It's pretty cool. And Digi has one on his microphone, but he's got one of the like big metal ones, and it's such a bitch to try and dust that thing, so I was like, no, I'm just gonna get like a simple smaller one. It kind of looks like a frying pan. It's very, very weird, but it looks cool. It feels very professional now. If you guys are hearing any weird noises in the background, it's literally because Digi is trying to...
Fuck off.
He's trying to be quiet.
Fucking fucking bullshit.
He's trying to be like
fuck it, I'll just make a fuck ton of noise then, I don't give a shit.
He's trying to open the drawer in the background very quietly, but
obviously not doing
it's
that.
not very quiet.
I'm fucking off.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Fuck off. See you.
Fuck off. See you later.
Good night. Something that's kind of annoying is that when you're colouring comics, it's fine when you're doing daytime scenes and stuff, but when you're doing dark scenes, they end up printing really dark. Like, there's a few pages in chapter 2 that I'm probably going to have to really brighten up, because I know for a fact that when they actually get printed, they're all just going to be one big blob of dark blue or something. It's like I'm actually scared to know how many times I'm gonna have to tweak stuff when it comes to printing. Yeah, for the past couple of days I've been working on the big Sonic painting, like traditional Sonic painting on canvas that I'm doing for Oshima-san, and I swear sometimes I find I accidentally reach for undo, or I try to zoom into something. Like I had to stop painting was it yesterday, the night before, because I was trying to use this tiny little, like the smallest, thinnest brush that I have to do really small details, and I couldn't see where the end of the paintbrush was, and I just kept wanting to zoom in and I couldn't, and I'm like, oh god, we're so spoiled with digital art. It's so spoiled. So it's nearly the end of March, and it's becoming more and more apparent that my Japanese classes are going to be starting very soon. Like, I say soon, but it's like the 8th of May. That's the 8th of May is too soon to me, and every time I look at the calendar, it just feels like time is speeding up, and I'm like, oh god, it's going to be like one of the, well, other than going to the Sonic convention last year, it's going to be like one of the most putting myself out there into an uncomfortable position that I've done for a long time. So I'm really kind of dreading it, but I'm looking forward to it as well, because I was kind of good at languages in high school, but I've not really been in education for a long time, so I'm hoping that I don't hit any like obvious roadblocks and then get discouraged by it. So I've got so many books and I've been watching so many YouTube channels and tutorials and so many just things to try and prep myself. And I keep telling myself, Trip, it's okay, you're going to the school to learn. There's going to be other people there who are just starting as well. But in my head, everybody's going to be like 5 years experience. They've all like been on holiday to Japan. They can all speak fluently and stuff. And there's me jamming away at like Google Translate, still learning like the hiragana and stuff like 10 years later. But nah. I might surprise myself. I might go there and find out that I'm actually ahead of the other people. I don't know. I'm the kind of person that I retain a lot of information, but when I get nervous, it just goes straight out of my head. But yeah, going back to Japanese school again. I don't know if I ever told you about the time when I was in primary school as a kid, and I used to move schools quite a lot because we had to move around a bit, because we were going from different cities to different like refugees, and I was homeless as a kid and stuff. But at one point I ended up in this one school. I had only been there for like a week, and everybody else in my class, there was like 2 other people in my class, and usually there should have been like a lot of people, but they'd all gone on holiday to some ski resort somewhere, and I'm like, okay, so it was just me and these 2 other kids. And I ended up finding out that there was like a French class that I was supposed to take, and so this French teacher comes in, and she thought that I had always been part of the class, and she didn't speak English, and she was just rattling off French at me, right? And I hadn't actually spoken any French. I'd never learned French in my life, because at my primary school we didn't do languages, we just done English. And so this was like really scary for me, and she started getting really annoyed at me, and she was like yelling at me in French. And I was like, yeah, that was my deep-seated French trauma moment, I think. And I ended up crying. Like I was so like freaked out when I was a kid. And then she started apologizing. Eventually, she didn't realize that I wasn't actually one of her students. I literally just started, and then I left that school like 2 weeks later or something. So I didn't learn any French. But my experience of learning languages has always been kind of a bit off. But I learned quite a bit of German in high school. I was supposed to do an exchange at one point, but I never got around to doing it. But I think one of the reasons that I'm learning Japanese is just it'd be nice to be able to listen to stuff and read things without constantly having to use subtitles or whatever. You know, that sounds like a very like weeby reason to want to learn Japanese, but it's just, I think because of all the media that I consume and stuff, it just seems like a no-brainer. It feels like I should have probably started learning Japanese years ago. I've got like a ton of friends who can speak Japanese, like they're like super high level and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I really wish that I'd learned earlier. It just kind of sucks that when you're a kid you can learn languages really fast, like you don't even care about it, you just pick up stuff, but the older you get the harder it is to learn languages. French is hard. French is such a cool language. Like, it sounds brilliant. Like, the reason I made Pi speak French is just because it's such a badass sounding language, but it's so difficult. It's just, I was told as well that it's easier for Scottish people to learn German because of the vowels and stuff, and it's easier for English people to learn French because it's got more nasal notes apparently, and I just always figured that was true because my French sucks. You see that? Don't ever do that. You're supposed to actually draw underneath your speech bubbles and stuff, because any instance that you print your stuff and the printers need to move something, they're going to move your speech bubbles and there's going to be no art underneath them, but that's a problem for future me. I'm just going to not think about that and I'm just going to keep colouring. Thank you! Bye!